Arcanine gets the Fire Fang farm down the opponent still has. That low health Mamoswine and that final Pokemon is Gyarados Water. Usually beats Fire. Well, not when you've got Wild Charge, because bang, there it is. Shout out Oxford U for that quote. So, welcome back to the channel. Today we have an incredibly spicy triple shadow showcase in the Master League Premier Cup. Huge shout out to AK Chili Willy for the battle submission. This without a doubt is probably the squishiest team I've ever seen anyone attempt to run, and it might look like a bit of a meme team. Well, let me tell you, it is not, as he went on an incredible 5-0 run. Without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game 1, we lead Shadow Magnizone into Mamoswine, a pretty neutral matchup. Both are fast move and the opponents are hitting for resisted. We can hit the opponent for super effective with the mirror shot, and Mamoswine has access to high horsepower, and my god, that would absolutely obliterate us. The opponent over farms. We get off the back-to-back mirror shots we've gained. Early shield advantage. AK daring the opponent to throw the high horsepower, and the opponent goes for the avalanche, and we do survive Magnizone. Super squishy, that does not get the job done. The opponent now throws an ancient power. Holy smokes, that definitely wasn't the moveset I was expecting. The opponent now pivots out into the big thick boy Snorlax. We throw the mirror shot, we get the debuff, and Machamp is about to have a very tasty snack. These counters are hitting for super effective. AK decides to shield the first body slam. Do we commit to the full counter farm down? It looks like we're unable to counter farm them all the way down, so AK is going to throw the cross chop. The opponent allows themselves to go down, opting to save that shield for their final Pokemon, which is Sylveon. However, this Charmer is in absolute deep water. The opponent doesn't know it yet, but they're going to be very sad when they see we've got a second anti-Charmer. Machamp fires off the cross chop. This Sylveon now already in the yellow. We've still got Magnizone and a full health Arcanine. Arcanine comes in. Fire Fangs are shredding the opponent. AK attempted to catch a charge move on his Magnizone. He was unsuccessful, but he does get the final shield with the mirror shot. Arcanine comes back in. The opponent can pretty much throw whatever they want. AK opts to no shield. The opponent goes for the Moonblast. That is resisted. We are going to save that shield for the potential ancient power. The opponent throws the avalanche. We Fire Fang down, and that is a good game. GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next battle, we see another Mamoswine in the lead. This time it's some Shadow on Shadow Prime. It looks like, judging from the first battle, 2 mirror shots should be enough to knock out a Shadow Mamoswine. You can see the first one gets them into the yellow. The Mammoth looking to return fire. With a charge move they go for an avalanche. AK does shield it up. He overfarms and he is going to return fire with a mirror shot. The opponent looking to make a play to win lead. AK opting to commit his final shield, also wanting to win that lead. We're almost at the back-to-back mirror shots. This one will either be knocking out or drawing the final shield off the opponent. The Mammoth does shield up again. This is just a resisted avalanche, but is it going to be enough to take out the Magnizone? No, it's not. We do survive. The opponent attempts to catch a mirror shot onto the Metagross, but AK super quick on his response. Really great there, holding on to his energy. He pivots out into his Shadow Machamp. We fire off the cross chop. The opponent overfarms beautifully, firing off the Meteor Mash on the CMP time. Meteor Mash takes care of our Machamp. The opponent does have residual energy. Good to go, but they are deep in the red, so we come in with Arcanine looking for the Fire Fang farm down. The opponent still has that low health Mammoth. What is that final Pokemon? It's a Gyarados Water. Usually beats Fire. Well, not when you've got Wild Charge coverage. Hi Gary, bye Gary, get fucking wrecked. And that is going to be all she wrote. When shields are down, Shadow Arcanine goes to town. Moving on to the next one. We lead Shadow Magnizone into Gyarados, the absolute dream lead. Spark and any electric for that matter does hit Gyarados for double super effective due to their water flying type, and the opponent fires off the Aqua Tail. That doesn't do a whole heap of damage despite Magnizone being pretty squishy. AK overfarms going straight for the Wild Charge, and Wild Charge does take care of Gyarados. The opponent now brings in a Shadow Machamp, and Machamp commits a shield on the Wild Charge. AK does have shield advantage, so he can bring in his own Shadow Machamp, and we're sitting in a pretty good position. AK commits that shield, so we're now going to be at shield parity. We are going to be able to spam out a cross shot before the opponent gets to the next one. The opponent now switches out to catch the cross chop on Metagross. That does decent damage. It's a Shadow Metagross, and holy smokes, Arcanine absolutely cuts through it like a hot knife through butter, and the opponent says no thank you, and they concede the match. Moving on to the next one. I'm sure mammoths are supposed to be extinct. Well, obviously not, because for the third time in 4 battles we see another mammoth in the lead. AK goes straight for the mirror shot. Mirror shot does land. The opponent builds up to what could be a high horsepower, and the opponent does win. CMP AK does commit a shield, and the opponent full sends the high horsepower. AK hits back with a mirror shot. The opponent lets it go. Can we get the double resisted spark farm down? Yes, we can. So Magnizone has energy, and what the heck? The opponent brings in Gary. Mr. Opponent, are you that weak to Magnizone? The opponent shields up the mirror shot bait. AK already at the wild charge. Is the opponent willing to commit that final shield? Yes, they are. So we now pivot out into Machamp, and that is a beautiful catch. Catching the Aqua Tail. The opponent now sends out a Shadow Metagross, and counters are ripping apart Metagross due to them being Psychic and Steel. They're only neutral, but Shadow and Shadow Crime, the damage is really oppressive. AK looks to go for the counter farm down. He doesn't make it. Metagross does survive on 1 HP and a Dream. AK sends out Arcanine. We're clicking the no shield. Resisting Meteor Mash does do some heavy neutral damage. Back out comes Gary. Can we reach the wild charge? We're running out of HP, so AK decides to just fire off the Psychic Fangs. Psychic's Fangs does get Gyarados super low, and 1 spark is enough to take that game. GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next battle, we see Magnizone into Metagross. We do resist the bullet punches, but Metagross does have access to Earthquake. AK going straight for the wild charge. The opponent doesn't respect the damage, and now they are deep in the yellow. It's a simultaneous swap. AK did attempt to catch the resisted Meteor Mash on his Arcanine. He was unsuccessful. Looks like the opponent anticipated the swap. We go for the Psychic Fangs, and the Garchomp that was switched in does shield. Pretty questionable. You never really want to shield the first Psychic Fangs or something like a Poison Fang, as every single time the charge move is thrown, it does lower your defense, so subsequent ones do more damage. However, it is what it is. Garchomp has enough energy for an Earth Power, and we do correctly shield up the Earth Power. Counters ripping apart this Garchomp because the Psychic Fang debuff did lower their defense by 1 stage. AK fires off the Cross Chop. Cross Chop knocks out Garchomp, and it is a Gyarados in the back, and Magnizone is absolutely about to sweep the back line. We fire off the mirror shot. Metagross does commit a shield. The opponent has enough energy for an Earthquake, and AK's huge cojones call the bait, and just like that, this game, as if it wasn't already looking pretty good, is absolutely over. AK can now shield up the next Meteor Mash, commit to the Spark farm down, and Gyarados is about to get absolutely obliterated. Fun fact of the day, if you're a Shadow Magnizone, you only have to be level 21 to return a level 50 Gyarados to its Pokeball from full health. So you can see AK Chilly Willy did go very impressive, 5-0 there. And you're about to see, not only did he go 5-0, he actually ranked up and hit Veteran. So a huge thank you for the battle submission. I have been getting some comments recently saying we want to see some Shadow Spice. So as a bit of a bonus, we got some bonus battles from another trainer. Bobby Prime 617 sent me some incredibly spicy battles. These were actually sent to me quite a while ago. You can see from the screen they are edited a bit weird, where I can't even see the CP and only received 3, so I wasn't entirely sure what to do with them, but today we're going to show them as a bit of a bonus. This team is not only spicy, but it also is double shiny in the back. We've got shiny Shadow Scizor and shiny Shadow Ursaring. Yes, not Ursaluna, but Ursaring. You can see by my graphic on the left, I actually don't have either of these as shiny shadows. But without any further ado, let's get into the battle. We'll lead our double legacy Shadow Mewtwo into Melmetal. We now pivot out to catch a Rock Slide on our Ursaring, and that does quite a lot of neutral damage. Ursaring goes for the Shadow Claw farm down. We're unable to get it, so we are going to have to commit a shield on the Superpower. Ursaring will now get the farm down. We have residual energy. Good to go. The opponent comes in to Garchomp. The opponent thinks this probably just a play rough. Well, surprise, motherfucker. Eat Hyper Beam. Hyper Beam near one shots. One more Shadow Claw. Takes him out. There's a Mewtwo in the back. And holy smokes, what the heck am I looking at? We go for the resisted close combat. The opponent commits a shield. They've also got a Shadow Mewtwo. I'm pretty lost. What the heck is going on? We pivot out into our own Shadow Mewtwo. So we've got Shadow Mewtwo versus Shadow Mewtwo. We are going to return fire with a resisted side strike. The opponent still hanging on to one shield, but if they do call the bait, they're probably just going to get bullet punched, farm down. We did fire off on CMP. Mewtwo dumps his energy, a resisted side strike, takes us out, and in comes Pinsir. The opponent is going to need to throw something like a Focus Blast. Have any chance of winning this game? They've got nowhere near the energy, and Night Slash is enough to take that game. And of course, you always get the unnecessary boost. Moving on to the next one. We lead Shadow Mewtwo into Gardevoir. We farm up to the side strike and Safe Switch into Ursaring. Ursaring is hitting for super effective. The opponent pivots out into a Heat Tram. We have got access to super effective close combat but we're throwing the resisted Hyper Beam, and what the heck is that? Resisted Hyper Beam near one shots. We Shadow Claw farm down. I don't know what to say. That was ridiculous. As we've managed to win switch advantage, we can now realign our Shadow Scizor against the Charmer. We bullet punch farm them all the way down, and it's a Garchomp in the back. We are farming up to close to 100 energy, and it's going to be time to unleash the Night Slashes. Night Slash isn't going to do too much to the Garchomp. However, this is the final Pokemon the opponent has. They do shield it up, so why not hit him with another Night Slash? Come on, show us the unnecessary boost. The opponent has double shielded. We now pivot out into our Mewtwo that's got the Side Strike locked and loaded. Side Strike does massive damage to Garchomp, and that is game over. I've been producing content for around 18 months now, and I never think I've been so lost for words as I have in these battles. Moving on to the next one, we see Mewtwo into Dialga. Mewtwo going straight for the resisted side strike, but Mewtwo hits like a truck. The opponent shields it up. We now pivot out into Scizor, looking to catch the Iron Head. We don't catch. The opponent has enough for the Draco, so we do commit a shield. The opponent just throws the Iron Head bait. It looks like the opponent is content with staying in, so we are going to start ripping off these Night Slashes. Night Slash won't do too much damage, but the opponent commits a shield. Interesting. Well, Scizor says have another Night Slash, and you're going to see, was it worth shielding? Probably not. The opponent is going to fire off a charge move. They still need to Draco or Thunder to take us out. The opponent fires off another Iron Head. Can we make the Night Slash? We cannot. We get Dragon Breath farm down just as we reach the charge move. We're now coming in to Ursaring. Ursaring is going to shield up the Iron Head, but we've already seen Hyper Beam is going to obliterate absolutely everything. We do Shadow Claw farm them all the way down. Show me something we can beam. The opponent comes in to Togekiss, probably why the opponent didn't switch out, but Hyper Beam doesn't care about no Charmer. The opponent gets near one shot. We snipe with a Psycho Cut, and it's Mewtwo versus Mewtwo. We're ahead on energy. It's going to be high Mewtwo by Mewtwo. GG's, and thanks for playing. Holy crap, I've never seen Shadow Ursaring in the Master League. It was pretty classy, but fuck my life, that thing hit like an absolute truck. So a huge thank you to both trainers for the battle submissions. That was without a doubt one of the most fun shoutcasts I've ever did. So if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing. If you like your battles featured on the channel, a link to my battle submission form is down below. Just like to say thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.